Arizona's Family News at 10 starts now.
Strong storms ripping through most of the valley this evening. Take a look at how strong the winds and the rain were in Queen Creek. Rain falling sideways there earlier today. Earl Ballenstein sent this in, showing the power of the storms.
And not a great boating afternoon at Saguaro Lake. Take a look at the rain coming down with some people still out on their boats. Viewer Jane Esperanza sent this into our newsroom.
Plus, drivers getting their cars stuck in the floodwaters. An AZ family photographer captured this car surrounded by water on 7th Street and Cave Creek. We know Phoenix Fire responded to some water rescues as well. There was a lot of damage across the valley, including down power lines and trees.
We have live team coverage for you tonight. Holly Bach is with us in studio tracking those storms, and Elliot Polikoff is live near 7th Street and Greenway, where there's some serious damage. We're going to go straight to Elliot. Talk about what you are seeing there tonight. Pretty incredible.
Yeah, absolutely, Emma and Michael. We are at 7th Street and Coral Gables Drive, and as you can see behind me, a Circle K roof has fallen. We spoke to two people whose cars were under the roof when it fell, and they say they are okay. We actually spoke to the owner of this red Subaru, where the car is still here, as you can see, but this entire area now blocked off with yellow tape. But while people were okay, you can see the cars clearly aren't. That beam just pouring into this roof, extensive damage on this Subaru. We spoke to another witness who saw this all unfold. He said it took about 2 seconds. It was that fast. This after a long stretch of heavy rain in the area. We spoke to some homeowners down the street telling me they suffered severe flooding damage. Tonight, definitely a reminder that if you can, stay off of the roads. These are dangerous driving conditions, no matter how short or how long of a drive you are making. Those that were out and about in this area, including the owner of this red Subaru, Zane Farron, he's still processing everything that happened and that his car is still stuck here under the Circle K roof.
And I just start hearing it creaking, and I look over. It's about 1.5 feet away from me because I'm standing at the pump, right? And then it just falls right over and, yep, lands on my car. So,
what kind of emotions were going through your head when you heard that creak?
I heard the creaking, and I knew what was going on. It was more just like oh, that's pretty much it.
Definitely not something you see every day. Zane says the roof of his Subaru, it has extensive damage. He's spoken with Circle K representatives, and they're going to get in touch with him about the next steps, but he expects that he's going to have to get a new car after everything that took place earlier this evening. Of course, we will keep you updated on this situation and across the state, but for now, live in Phoenix, Elliot Polikoff, Arizona's Family.
All right, Elliot, new car, but they're all okay, so the important things there. All right, let's go to a live rescue that we brought you about a half an hour ago. We were talking to Phoenix Fire during this. This is at 7th Ave in Greenway. You notice the car is still stuck in some floodwaters, but the people that are on top of the car are no longer there, and that's because we got word in about the last 15-20 minutes, Phoenix Fire crews were able to get out there and bring those people to safety and some higher ground.
Yeah, just a reminder to not drive through flooded water, turn around. It's just not safe. As you could see, thankfully crews were able to get to this family in this car, got them out safely, but not always the case. Those waters can start rising very quickly, and it can become a very dangerous situation.
This looks like a river, essentially. I mean, especially when there were lights on a little bit ago, the last time we saw this shot, you can kind of see almost like the caps there of the water really rushing through. Dangerous stuff there, for sure. And let's bring in Holly now. Phoenix Fire said, they had a few of these types of rescues today, so it's not just one here, one there. It's just in Phoenix there were quite a few.
Right, and a lot of times these places too will have signs that say like do not cross when flooded, and unfortunately they're still responding to some of those calls. But it was many areas, like Michael said, a ton of reports all across the valley. It was pretty widespread activity throughout this afternoon and evening. So we have reports of wind, also some flooding out there. Right where Elliot is, I wanted to point out this storm report. Again, he was right off of Greenway Parkway and along 7th Street. That Circle K, how he mentioned the roof completely fell down, that was because of this wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour. that knocked that over. Extremely powerful. Also just north of that, Union Hills near 16th Street. Right here in this area, more than 2 inches of rain falling in less than 30 minutes. So yes, that's what's creating that flood concern. And as we saw in that live shot, makes some streets kind of look like rivers. As far as the rain, though, now the good news is that it's not dumping any more on top of that flooding we've already seen. If anything, the rain is becoming a lot lighter near Cave Creek, again along the 17 near Black Canyon City out to Castle Hot Springs as well, and also along the 74. But as far as here in Phoenix, the East Valley, really not seeing much. Maybe some light sprinkles over Chandler and along the 10 near Sun Lakes, but not as bad as it was earlier this afternoon. Still tonight, all of these areas you see here in these red boxes, that's flash flood warnings. Again, because these storms came in packing a punch, dropping heavy rain, and that's what's leading to flooding in these areas in between Fountain Hills, Scottsdale, even all the way out to Deer Valley. So those should stay in effect through about 10:30 tonight as we continue to see some flood water out there. As far as those rainfall totals, significant amount, over 2 inches at Bell Road and 16th Street, a little over an inch and 1.8 inches, I should say, in Pinnacle Peak. North Phoenix got some good rain too, and a little bit over an inch in the downtown Phoenix area. So these storms, they were very powerful. Now, unfortunately, we are seeing the damage, but we'll talk more about those storm chances for the rest of the weekend still ahead.